Hi guys, Luke Anderson here for GameSpot UK. I'm joined by Adam Park, who's the assistant producer for Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise.
That's right, yep.
Yep, how you going?
Not bad, thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the second game. Why another Viva Pinata game? You know, the first one was pretty well received. So what are you planning to do with the second one?
Well, we looked at the first game and we thought there was a great deal of potential to take it on further. And there was a lot of things that, because of the development process, we either didn't have time to include or we didn't think would suit something that was the first game in what was we hoped to be a franchise. So with this game, I think it's given us the opportunity to go back, look at those things that we wanted to include and make sure they're in this game. That's not to disparage the first game by any means, but there's things like same box co-op. We've introduced lots of new pinatas. You can now kind of use your in-game camera to generate pictures so you can share them with the community. So there's a lot of things that we've tried to include that hopefully, you know, will make this a worthy sequel. And we've also added more of a storyline this time. We think that it needed, you know, if you're going to have a sequel, it needs to have some kind of structure and a reason for being there. So we've now got Pesta has kind of come into the island, and whereas before he was just this cunning, kind of sneaky irritant, now he's, you know, he's gained a lot more power. He's come in and he's, you know, he's there to cause trouble in paradise.
Yeah. So he's the game's main protagonist. What, I guess, does the whole story centre around him, or, you know, how does that kind of fit into it?
It does, yeah. The game starts out with he's got into Pinata Central, which is where Langston, who's the Toad, used to send all the pinata off. So that's where it was all coordinated for the parties around the world. So what Pesta's done, he's tried to get in there to steal the locations of all the pinatas because he's quite keen on, you know, finding them and eating the candy, obviously. And if he knows where they are, then he can keep restocking them. So he's got his never-ending supply. But obviously, as is always the way, these things didn't quite go to plan because his henchmen aren't up to the job. They wipe all the records in Pinata Central. So not only has Langston been usurped from Pinata Central, and not only has Pesta got into Pinata Central, there's now no records available. So your role is kind of twofold. You've got to try and revive Pinata Central to what it was, but you've also got to do so while Pesta's out there doing his best to make sure you don't do it. And he's a tricky character.
So besides obviously Pesta, you've got heaps of new pinatas. I think there was 100 in the original game. Was that right? And there's 30 new ones, or 70?
Yeah, there's now well over 100. There's over 30 new pinatas, and, you know, ranging from tiny little things like the biscotti, which is a little ladybird, and we've got beetles, which is the sweetle, right up to really big ones, some of which I won't tell you, but we've, you know, don't want to spoil the surprise, but we've got a very good one who's a yeti, who's called the Jelly, and he's this lumbering hulk of a pinata who, he's quite different, he's quite evasive, obviously, you know, as yetis are. But yeah, once you've got him, he's a, you know, very welcome addition to the garden.
Cool. So explain a little bit about the Viva Pinata cards, how they work, and you know, what they'll unlock in the game, and how, like, gamers can get them.
Yeah, sure. We were looking into a way of using the live vision camera. It seems like a really great peripheral, and we thought, you know, it's something that we could do a lot with. So our lead engineer spent some time looking at it, and in his own time he developed this idea, which he then brought in, presented to the designers and said, is this something we can do? And they were like, definitely. So we took it from there, and basically we've got cards. And when I say cards, they don't actually physically have to be cards. They can be digital cards, so you can have them on things like your iPod Touch or your Zune. And basically you show it to the camera, you plug in a live vision camera, you show a card to the camera, at which point whatever is on the card will then go directly into your game. So if you've got a Yeti on your card, a Yeti will drop into the game. And these can be accessorized up, so you could have a Yeti, you know, wearing a gas mask and a ballet skirt if you wanted, pop him in, and there he is. And hopefully you're also going to be able to generate your own cards, because as I say, we've got the photo mode now, so you can essentially take out a camera when you're in the game, find the Yeti that you want, or the gorilla, or your penguin, whatever it is, take a picture of it. Within the software, it'll tag that, so it knows what that person, or what that pinata is doing, and then upload it to the community site, and hopefully we'll be able to then generate your own cards. And we were hoping to kind of extend the game beyond the 360, so, you know, people can swap cards if they are physical ones. They can upload them to forums, people can print them off, people can use them on the digital devices. And also, we saw it as a way of delivering content to people who don't necessarily have access to live. So it's something where, you know, people, if you don't have an online connection, you can literally, you know, get something physical, have it in your pocket, and then put it into the game.
And you've also encouraged multiplayer with, you know, the two-player mode with parents and kids and stuff. So maybe can you explain a little bit about how that's changed?
Yeah. Co-op was something that I think a lot of people wanted to see in the first game, and we were aware of that, and it was something that we really thought could make a real difference to the way the game was played. And yeah, one of the obvious applications of that is it's a single box co-op. You can plug the second controller in at any time, drop in and out. There's no menu system. It is literally, it's up to you when you come in and out. And even though the cursors are attached to a point, you are relatively free to do what you want within the garden. And one of the uses of it obviously is with parents. A lot of children who want to play it maybe find it difficult to get beyond a certain point in the first game, and this will allow parents to take their children through the game. But rather than it just merely being a second player, we wanted to make it, that there was a worth for you to play as co-op. So the second player now has the ability to accrue magic by doing good deeds within the garden. So if they take out a weed or take out a sour pinata who's coming into the garden, you earn this magic. And once you've kind of got a certain amount, you can then perform things that player one can't. So if there's a sick pinata, you can now heal it. And if there is, a pumpkin that you want to turn into a jack-o'-lantern, you can do that. These were things that you'd had to have paid for in the first game. So rather than see it, just as a co-op, hopefully it is a completely kind of new feature within the game as well. So it can be played just as a standard co-op, but if you choose to, you can use it as something which isn't available in the one-player game.
Okay, cool. So that sounds pretty good. So Viva Pinata, what kind of time frame are you looking for Trouble in Paradise?
It'll be available this September.
Okay.
And so yeah, so we're kind of like well on our way now. So hopefully everyone will be really pleased with it when it comes out.
Yeah, cool. Are you planning any demos on Xbox Live or anything like that beforehand?
Definitely. We're looking to get a demo on Xbox Live beforehand. Yeah, certainly.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks a lot for your time.
No problem.